Welcome back to MMA Oddsbreaker. I'm Frank Trigg. That is Chidi Njokuani getting ready to battle. Coming up here on RFA 13. As always, we always start these conversations a little bit before we start taping. And Chidi, you're the first one that's actually asked me about my eye. That I went home.
I'm surprised, man. I don't get it.
You're gonna laugh a little bit. It's gonna be kind of funny. I was doing CrossFit, and I hit myself in the head with a barbell. I cut myself over with a barbell. Yeah. I was doing front squats with press, and I have a bad shoulder, and I'm trying to get more flexibility on my shoulder. My instructor Lexi was like, "Hey, only do 4. I know it says 10, but you do 4. Put it down, reset, and do it again because you're not gonna be able to get through." I did my 4th one. Was like, "Don't worry, I can do 5."
I got this.
My hand went up, like my hand snapped it off the bar, went straight up. The bar stopped, hit my bicep, and because my bicep was going up, but the bar smacked me right in the face.
Oh, man.
I screamed like the world was ending. It was so bad.
This CrossFit isn't for everyone, man. That's why I stay away from it.
It brings me to this question, though. Cross-train now is a big deal in MMA. It's a huge thing. Like, you got to do these. I know a lot of guys, especially up there at the pit with John Hackelman, they do a lot of CrossFit stuff. CrossFit kind of is how we've always been trained to work out as athletes.
Yeah.
Do you involve that kind of dynamic lifting and that big lifting, heavy weights and a lot of repetition as you get, later into the fight camp, like the last 2 weeks or so? Because I just thought about it. Say this happened to you 2 weeks out of a fight, all of a sudden you got 4 stitches in your eyebrow. That could cancel the fight.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I don't do exactly CrossFit, but I do my strength and conditioning, and we try to lighten up the weight close to the fight, so things like that doesn't happen. but we do stick to a few weights, and but we get lighter as we get closer to the fight.
Yeah, make typical sense. That's pretty much how it should be done. I just when you're lifting weights in training camp, you're training like it's part of your 8 to 10 workouts you have to get in a week. I'm doing it now. It's a workout. Like, I really don't care. So I'm just doing it, and I got hurt doing it. It's kind of silly, but yeah. All right, let's talk about Chris Heatherly. He's your opponent coming up here for RFA 13 on March 7th. What's going on? Like how do you see him as an opponent? How do you see things happening? How do you break down this fight? If you had explained this to somebody that hadn't seen fighting before, how would you break it down?
He's a wrestler. He's a Greco-Roman wrestler. So I'm assuming he's going to come in and try to smother me and get the takedown. And so, I mean, my plan is just to use my range, use my reach, and keep him on the end of my punches. Don't let it go to the ground and just win the stand-up battle throughout the whole fight. I'm hoping for a knockout, but if it doesn't come, then a win's a win,
You are a very hard puncher, but with a wrestler-type guy like this that's going to try to scramble and grab you and hold you down, do you back off on your hard punching and go back to that kind of peppering style, tag and move, or is it going to be one of those where you're going to make him run into one of your big power punches?
Yeah. I'll probably set it up a lot more than just throwing bombs, I'll tag him with a few, and then when I see the right open, and then I'll throw the big punch. But I'll just wait until I see an opening before I start throwing any haymakers at him.
RFA is getting a lot of love from the UFC and from fans in general, just because of the great talent that's actually in the ranks right now. This win over where does it put you within the ranking of RFA 170 pounders?
Hopefully for a title shot.
Do you have to finish him to get a title shot? Is it one of those situations, or all I have to do is win?
I really don't know. My plan is just to win, but whatever comes out after that is whatever. But for me, I mean, I just plan to win the fight.
Did it add any extra pressure to you knowing that the UFC is watching these fights and paying attention to the champs and paying attention to the guys that are competing? That for sure the brass at the UFC is looking at this and you might get a phone call soon?
Nah, not at all. I feel like I've always been. I mean, I feel like I've always at least been on the radar, knowing that because my brother he fights for UFC, so I've always felt like they've always at least kind of watched maybe a fight or two of mine at times, and I don't feel like it's any different from any other fight.
Well, Chidi, thanks for taking some time with us today here on MMA Oddsbreaker. It's great catching up with you again. I've been wondering how come I haven't seen you and your brother out and about in Vegas lately, but I know why, because you guys are in train camp. So
yeah,
we're not out at the same times anymore. So. All right, Chidi. Well, have
afterwards,
fun.
man. Afterwards, I'm down to kick it.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. I got to tell you, folks at home, that if you're ever in Vegas, you got time to hang out with him or his brother. You need to do it. Trust me. It's worth it. It is absolutely worth it to be hanging out with those fools, because it goes from it could be a good night maybe to all of a sudden a complete epic like top 10 night. Every time I go out with them, it's a top 10 night of all time. So.
Yeah, always good times, man. Always good times.
All right, Chief. Take care, bud. We'll talk to you soon.
You too, Frank.